Yeah, welcome to another edition of the 365 FM podcast. Today's guest is Billur, and now I hope I pronounced that correctly. Samdancioglu. Huh?
Actually, it's Shamdancioglu. It's Turkish, and even in Turkish, it's very hard not to pronounce, but maybe to write. So I can take everything. So it's in English like chandelier maker's son, meaning.
Okay.
And even if you try to do it in English, it would be hard. But yeah, thank you for the try.
Mm, yeah, you are Microsoft Biz MVP, Microsoft Certified Trainer, Dynamics 365 Community Super User, and
Mhm.
Dynamics 365 Financial Operations Solution Architect Expert. Also, you work since 2004 in more than 40 projects. Yeah, and there you got a deep expertise in finance, transformation, ERP strategy, and yeah, the future of AI and powered business applications. And in this episode, we will explore the future of finance in Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations, how Copilot and AI agents change ERP system, and what co-work really means inside the generation of enterprise finance. So, for the people discovering you for the first time, what's your background and your journey into Microsoft ERP and yeah, financial systems?
Actually, I've never seen myself as an ERP consultant 22 years ago. So I was out for the university. Then I couldn't find a job as an accountant back then. And somehow there was Dynamics University, but back then it was AX 22 years ago. So I applied for the university, and after a month, we have been placed into different um, consultancy companies, and this is how my journey start. And I cannot say that I'm sorry for that. I'm very happy and I'm very yeah, enthusiastic in dynamics, honestly speaking. So when I first start, it was I started in Turkey, and in Turkey, we do not have too much clients because also AX was very new. So there are just a couple of them. I was very lucky to work for two of the biggest companies in Turkey implementing AX back then. Started with 3.0, then 4.0, 2009, 2012, and then we come for Dynamics. So when we look all these versions that we have, you can simply say it got stronger and stronger. So it's amazing where we are now.
Yeah.
When we started with 3.0, it's just changes are being made almost like a yearly basis. So in each year you have a new version. And then when it comes to dynamics, then we have we were like as consultants. Okay, can you please stop releasing some good things because you have to catch up. So when we go for the first time in AX 20 years ago. We were like can do everything in AX. I was the finance consultant, I was logistics consultant, I was the product consultant, production consultant, I was the warehouse consultant, and I knew everything. But in Dynamics, now we have too many things. I'm just labeling myself as mainly finance consultant and a solution architect.
Mm,
Of course, solution architects needs to know other modules and other functionalities, also for Power Platform objects and all the technologies. We can say it that way. But Dynamics is a bit different. Why I'm saying this one is that in Dynamics, it's also we have releases in 3 months. We try to catch up, but in these last 2 years,
mhm.
it's a rally. I can say. It's a huge rally that we have to keep on learning, evolving, and making us trying to catch up. Even if I will come to that point in AI, where we are in dynamics, of course. But even from the last November, I learned a lot. Um, when I tried, I'm also a speaker in some of the biggest events,
mm,
wonderful events. I, I'm changing almost weekly my presentations, adding new tools that I need to show, or else, in a month, in 2 months, you will be these topics are old anyway. So it's really, I can say that while the world is changing with AI so
mm.
quickly, also dynamics and AI as well.
Awesome. So we had a lot of MVPs and MCTs here as guests. So I never heard the title Dynamics 365 Community Super User. What is this?
It's because that this naming has been changed in last or the previous year, so it was something else. But now we call them super users.
Mm,
Um, you know that being an MVP is something that you have that title if you are supporting community.
mhm,
By community in this case, it could be a Power Platform community, it could be an Azure community, it could be Office community, M365, or in this case, Dynamics community. So, being an MCT is Microsoft certified trainer. For Microsoft certified trainer, you have to. This means that you are a teacher
mm,
uh, for Microsoft perspective. You have your trainings, you have your certifications, and then you are eligible to give Microsoft products training officially. So this is what an MCT is. Super user is something that I really like to be because evaluation is made for MCT and MVP. It's made by yearly, but for the super user, we have every year two seasons. I took the fourth. I'm very happy for that one.
mm,
Uh, what you do is that you are supporting your community. There is a web page for Dynamics 365 community, and you reply the questions that people ask. And people do ask lots of questions there. So you go in there, you reply them, and they can validate your answer or they can like your answer. And then you collect some points. And if you have reached enough points, then you can be a super user. Why I like to be a super user is because you help people. It's community work. It's not about I don't know. And I've even been a super user before being an MVP or being an MCT. And how I decided to be a super user is that 20 years ago, imagine there's not this much of a technology. Of course, technology evolved and we still use for to find answers for AI. When you are uh, searching for an answer of the problem that you face in AX, for example, we search it, and I always have the answers in Dynamics 365 community, and especially from two persons. I see that there are replies, and I was like, wow, they know a lot. And they almost reply all the issues correctly. You find the answers there that you have faced, that also other people's faced, and you solve. And I was really, when I see them, they were like my heroes.
mm,
Years passed, and one day I say that why do I why do I not help people? Right?
mm,
Why do I not answer their questions? I have that information.
mm,
Most of the cases that happened to me as well. So I started replying the questions in Dynamics 365 community. This is where actually my MVP journey start as well. I never thought that I would be an MVP one day,
mm,
but after I start answering the questions, I start to be friends with my heroes because they were still there after 20 years. And now in the events, we see each other. I even have photos with them. And exactly, yeah, it's one of them is
For the more, let's hope.
Anthony. So he's a wonderful person, still supporting our community, still my hero. um, and it's a super user because it's like a superhero that helps the people. Why the heroes are here for to help, and everybody can be a super user. All they have to do is to go on the site and you just support reply is the questions that you have already faced and solved in your lives.
Mm,
Yeah.
that it's like, this was a good answer, and the people can upvote, downvote it, like, I don't know, Reddit or something.
Exactly. And you can ask AI. If you even what I do is that I didn't use AI for that purpose, but I see people using AI and uh, supporting it. It's good enough as well. But also sometimes when I learn, I read the questions. I say that okay, I didn't know this module. Oh,
Mm,
there's some new came that I didn't know of. I should learn this one. Or say that oh, okay, in the future I'm looking that there is this problem and this is the solution. So let's keep this in my mind just in case. So it's not just it's mostly helping the people, but
mhm.
also when you are helping people, they help you as well. So this is what the community is. And you will have friends, and friends are for your good and bad days. And yeah, the community is very supportive.
I think this is also be one of the greatest party in the, or stuff in the Microsoft ecosystem. Is It's not all the tech, the most tech is really great, but it's, I think the community, it's what they build. It's really strong. I don't know. I don't have any idea of another tech company have this strong community. I think
I
okay,
do
Apple
not
has.
as well, but our community is really, really have lots of wonderful people, I can say. I see them in different events. I've gone to Portuguese for A365 Summit, perfect people. I will go to Dynamics Minds in Slovenia, wonderful people. A Color Cloud in Hamburg, Germany, it's just wonderful people. Everybody is trying to do something and they are doing for free. It's just it's amazing. It's amazing because they are very enthusiasts like me. I call myself enthusiast because from the Microsoft perspective, I see that there are lots of good things going on, and you get excited for that, and you would like to add your value in them as well. I don't know, maybe I'm just so naive or just this is what I am, but yeah, it's
Yeah, at the start, I say, you work in more than 40 projects and you start 2004. Um, what are the biggest, yeah, changes you have been seen in ERP over the years?
wow. It's just it's been okay, so everybody was talking about the AI. I think it was 2 or 3 years ago. I do not really remember that one, but then this is the first thing that I seen from Charles Lamana. Charles Lamana said, but of course this is not the maybe naming of Charles Lamana, but
Mm,
I heard from him first saying that Copilot is the UI for AI. We said what? We have no idea what a copilot is back then. We know AI, we have ChatGPT, there
mm,
was ChatGPT, I think, whatever. Uh, and then we say that what does it mean? Copilot is UI for AI. I think this started that fire. Before that, yes, of course, Dynamics was really good. There was lots of investments there. Even before the Copilot, there are financial insights. Financial insights were generating the machine learning, and but it was just so static. Um, then Copilot started. I think this it was the biggest start in the evolution. Then and somehow that fire is not very big anymore. Yes, there was some things, and but then they say something like agents. We were
mm,
like, okay, we have Copilot, and they've changed some of the names from Copilot to agents. We say, okay, um, agents were fine, but we say that they're not very, very much AI. So some a little bit static, a little bit AI. So it's very in between. So they start saying that a Copilot for every employee, an agent for every business process. And Copilot was more about replying your questions, giving your some thinking space, and agents were for to do business and were doing your businesses. Then last year, I think when I saw that for the first time in my life in Dynamics, my jaw dropped. It was D365 Summit in Lisbon, and Laze and Andre was showing us something called MCP server. And I let me think. I think it was, yeah. Andre showed there to create a vendor, the system in Dynamics 365, just writing this. Okay, find this vendor. He put the vendor name. Go to the internet and go to its web page. It didn't write the web page there. And then collect its data, address information, contact information, and whatever, uh, and create this in Dynamics. He write, and I was like, what? It find out with the MCP server with the Visual Studio Code he was using. He wrote it in the Visual Studio Code with the MCP server. It go find out that vendor's website, put down the information, knows that it should also put the currency information because Andre didn't write that to put down the currency information because currency information is mandatory. No,
Yep.
but system thought that it should put the currency code because it's mandatory, and then um, because it's a German company, right? It find out that it has the assumption that the currency should be euro and put there the information on that one. I was like, what? I put that, and then Lazi come and also make a presentation. This is why I always say that you should attend these kind of events. You cannot do it by reading. It's you can do it by reading in a way, but I think it's very important to go to events, be there, or at least some online events if you are not able to go there, or watch some online meetings so you have this kind of information. And then Laze come there, write down saying that, okay, connect to Dynamics 365 FNO and create me a CEO presentation about my cash. And it created a PowerPoint automatically looking at the Dynamics 365 data, generating a PDF for us. You can always create visuals. Of course, we can use the Power BI, we can create some apps, but you always require a developer. I admit, you still need a developer. My husband is a developer, so he needs okay. So to pay the bills, we still need him to work. But in the end, we always hearing the vibe coding for some time, vibe coding, but here we see that we have that vibe coding thing. So everybody fell in it. They say that, wow. Vibe coding. Perfect. Everybody can code now, right? No, that's that's literal long. Let me continue. So that was my jaw dropping moment.
Mm,
Microsoft started saying something like work IQ. We said that
yeah.
we know IQ, whatever, work, whatever. And that was actually not a thing. It's not a tool to use, but it's an understanding. It's a layer in between. Because when you say AI can do anything, literally anything. Go to different websites, collect unhinged data, whatever, or use your data to wherever it requires. But work IQ does understand you, your patterns, your business, and literally your company. So they put work IQ in the core, saying that with this one, this AI, this Copilot is for you, for your business, they say. And then last month, it was in April, so it's very new and hot. There is cowork. So when you go into LinkedIn, it's crazy.
Mm,
Everybody is talking about the cowork. I am daily trying different things in cowork and trying to find out the capabilities. It has skills. Um, it creates different outputs. You can do everything, almost everything with cowork. Last November, my jaw dropped, and with cowork, my brain exploded. I can tell you that one. It's because the cowork is another issue, a new way. They say that it's a new way of work. I agree, honestly speaking. Yeah, it's just uh, it has plugins that collects data. Uh,
mm,
let me tell you this one. Um, I'm here trying to explain how things are now too quickly being implemented. So we say that speed, whatever. When I see the first co-work,
mm,
let me think where it was. It was in Color Cloud.
mhm,
Okay. It was in Hamburg. I go there. I joined. I have my own session, but I joined my friend's session there talking about the co-work. It was very new. I would like to show in Color Club, but it was like 1 week, and I believe that I couldn't show anything, so I didn't put it into my agenda. So, but I would like to learn it because I started hearing that there will be a co-work because I hear from like Apple Dunham, one of the big perfect person in the as well. I see that okay, there's a co-work, so I have to learn it, whatever, and show us how co-work works. Back then, it was the first weeks of April when we were there, I think 15th or so. They said that, okay, um, there's co-work that can just take your agenda, can place customer meetings automatically when you write down there with the vibe coding saying that, okay, quickly for this customer at 10 a.m. This event and check my Outlook agenda and see what's going on and etc. I said that yeah, that's cool, that's cool. And I said that oh okay, it's just I wish that we can have some dynamics 365 FNO there, right?
mhm,
That would so what I did was that I know that I have my um it was still impressive. So I said that, okay, I will use some of Dynamics 365 AI management, email creation tools, and also use some co-work because it's using the emails and the Teams functionality to show in Dynamics Minds, which is the end of this month, and saying that this is what we have now. Hopefully, Microsoft will have Dynamics 365 F1 integration in the future. I was planning to say. So I was wrong because after I placed my presentation after Color Cloud
mm,
in a week, Microsoft say that, okay, we have a new apps and a new plugin. I think it's Dynamics 365 FNO, so you can check the data directly. We were like, boom. So it's crazy. This is how quick the things are. You think, and Microsoft in a week or two does. So um, this when we are talking of the AI, of the Copilot, and how the things are when thinking of 20 years ago,
Mm,
it's hugely speedy. It's a good thing, but it's really hard to evolve within it for the ones that are in my age, maybe. But in the end, um, you have to keep on learning by using Microsoft Learn
mm,
or attending events. There are very good fast track videos that Microsoft Fast Track team does. So you always keep on moving from that perspective.
mm. Awesome. I think a little bit. There's so much happening in the financial operations. Uh, how have the role of financial teams evolved since the start of AI in your perspective?
Um, Let me go this one. I will just I use this story where and this has been told by my mother. So she was working as a manager of human resources, but of course before uh she was a manager, he started from the beginning, and she said that when I first start, it's very important that you can make this some in your mind. So the best person of the company was the people that can sum all the information from their mind. Then she said that then we have calculators. Okay. And what we do is that we do the sum in the calculators, and then the sum has been made um, by the people who knows who already done, and then we check together which one is the correct, and then we start trusting on calculators. Then one time she explained there's a computer came, and there was just one computer in the company within a room that you cannot go in. You have to need to have a key, and you go in there and you put the values and sum it up, whatever. What they do is that first calculate in the calculator and in the computer, and then at some time they start trusting. Then this is now where I start. The ERPs came, right? The ERP systems that we started using. So what people do is that they were using their offices, of course, Excel. When we say office, it's Excel, of course. They do the Excels and they put the information in ERPs like Dynamics 365, and they build the trust on Dynamics. There was always some concern on that one. Even if you are using the computer, even if you are using the ERP systems, I always face the same question. They say that, will I lose my job? Okay. This is the most common questions that comes here. And when we now have the AI and we have the vibe coding that everybody can code, people keep on asking, will I lose my job with this AI? It's tricky question. I have two answers. So when you look, you know that we do not see any chimney sweepers that much today, right? It's changed because life changed. But this doesn't mean that chimney sweepers are not doing something else. Or we do not see people that are lightening the lamps like in London in 50s or 40s. Now there's electricity and everybody all the lights are being opened up. So this is a tricky question. I always say it's the evolution. So this doesn't mean that you will lose your job, but it's more about the change. You will evolve, you will change in that way. In the back days, there are more accountants, less developer, and now we have more developers, less accountants. So the type of work, the way of work will change. So this is first my answer how dynamics and processes will affect. The second one is that what we say, I heard it in one of the conferences and I really like it, and I will use it now, is vibe coding is not vibe engineering. Okay.
Okay.
So I can do vibe coding. I can write whatever I want to there, but it's still a system. So still someone that vibe engineer, which is hopefully my husband, that will not lose his job, needs to go to do some setups. Not just the setups, um, but also do the governance to be sure from the work perspective. It doesn't go something to some places that will risk my company's data, and I do not to be sure that I'm collecting the correct data from the correct place.
Mm,
It doesn't improvise, right? This is why we have work RQ, but still, you have to close and open some gateways to where to look in. And also, I should be, even if I've written the vibe coding, I should be the one as a business user, as a business department, to know at least it's not the AI is not like improvising. It's just go unhinged. And the data should be correct for it to work it for me. Not like replacing the ERP. ERP will be there forever. But like the computers, like phones, like electricity, honestly saying, it's just making our lives easier. If we say that change is a bad thing, then none of us should be using the cars. Okay, we can walk everywhere. We can use the horses. Do you use the horses? You don't, because it by car it's easier to do the things, or by bikes. It depends on which one you prefer. So from that perspective, this is why I always saying that open to the change, but not wait for change to come for you. Learn it, change it, and work on it. There are lots of agents there, in Dynamics, in Copilot Studio, but you can create your agents as well. So as we said before, there are developers and there are good developers,
mm,
right? I always say that everybody can code. Most the developers do is that they copy paste from the web, right, or from the previous projects. But a good developer go into the code and make it optimized to make it work better,
mm,
easier, and checks the database performance, whatever. So we say there were developers, there were good developers, and now we have the vibe coders and there are vibe engineers. Vibe engineers will create new agents for your work that you would like to use, and also be sure that agents are working clearly, not to put everything into one agent, but from writes agent to agent workflows, and then yeah, it's to manage the process wisely, secure it, governance, and this will now be very important in the world of AI. Or else, you know, if you put anything unhinged, so it's a toddler, right?
mm,
And I also this naming from one of my friends in EPPC, European Paraclassical Conference, that taken Cologne for the BISACs. It's a toddler. So you said to your toddler, saying that, okay, do not talk with strangers, right? So there should be someone, writing the AI saying that don't talk to this stranger, don't talk, go that way, do not put your finger in the switch, right? um, so this assumption I think is very important when it comes to the setups. And for now, at least, this is what we are waiting from the vibe engineers to do so.
Awesome. So, you mentioned Copilot, agents, and co-work. How you define those concept insights, Dynamics 365 financial and operations?
That's a good question, actually, because there are lots of things that you can manage. Agents are the things that you use to do your work. You can use agents in Cowork, you can use agents in Copilot Studio, or you can use some agents directly in Dynamics 365. The agents in Dynamics 365 are a little bit more static. For example, there is a supplier communication agent, and what it can do is to do the related task.
Mhm,
Or you can use in the Copilot Studio, for example, use the um, a Copilot for Dynamics 365 agent, or analysis agent, which is using the business performance analytics tool to gather out the data and put you all the details as informative. But it's very important you to know which tool works for what and which skills it has.
mhm,
For example, in Copilot Studio, in Dynamics, I told you that there are very specific agents that only do what are named for. In Copilot Studio, when you use it, use these agents of the Dynamics 365 FNO agents, it gives you wonderful insights on your uh, business, gives you data, but not data. Also, if you ask them to give you um, insights, it looks, I don't know where, but it really gives you very wonderful insights, and it talks a lot. It talks pages and pages on what you should do, where you should do, saying that okay, you have to contact with this one, that one, whatever. Or you can use agents, for example, in Teams and Outlook, or even PowerPoint as Copilot. So um, and also you can use Cowork.
mhm,
Cowork is actually, we call it Copilot Cowork, but it's
mhm,
uh, I always imagine it. This is not something official. I think I said that Copilot plus Workaki is Cowork, so it's
mhm,
naming. So in Cowork, it's more about the communication tool that works on M365. Like for example, you can create, you can ask Cowork
mhm,
to, which I have tried, saying that, okay, I would like to place a meeting with this customer and take this customer's email address from the collection contact and then set up a meeting. Also, please prepare for the meeting, me for the meeting. So when I say prepare for me to the meeting, it creates a Word document and sharing its insights, but I should talk in this kind of a meeting. I say that there is a payment conflict, so give me. It did. It also put in there some aging information, whatever. Then I say that, okay, now create me a presentation. It creates me a presentation to show in the meeting that I will have, which has been planned. And also, I say that, okay, send me this information via email. So it sends me this information via email, the PDF of the invoices, and the Excel sheet of all the invoices that it has. And also, you can say that, okay, give me some adaptive card report and send them to my teams. And it does all that. So, when we say that if we should use Copilot Studio, or we should use the Cowork, or we should use Dynamics agents or any other agents, it depends. This is why you need to know which one does what and what do you require. And also, it's very important to set up um, security rules, right? Because you do not want everyone to reach out the sensitive data.
Mm, this is awesome. So, when we look at
What I will use, what I will use is that I will use cowork as the endpoint of the users who will interact with, like for example, a customer or vendor and requires data and information from the system. I would use at that point probably. I will use Copilot Studio for more management.
mm,
Like for example, if I would like to inquire how what are my risky customers are, how I can just contact with them, how what should I do as a company to make these less risky. So it can give more insights from that perspective, I think.
yeah, when we talk about risk, how important are governance, compliance, and auditability when introducing AI into finance, especially a DFO?
Yes. So I this is where I think it's, as I said, vibe engineering is really crucial. So what hasn't changed is that we are still building business solutions. The same goal, different method, and we still maximize the value from the tools. We are using the tools as much as we can, and governance, of course, consistency, security, and monitoring is important. And also, there's a room for innovation. But when I look into how to manage I think it's very important to have the environment strategy management. So you should know which environments to use, which technologies in this case. So is it in production? Is it in dev environment? Or how the security is to be managed? And also, it's very important to, if you are going to use the agents, you have to set up the context correctly. You have to add the knowledge sources, you have to manage skills, or else, as I said, it will go anywhere. It will look any web pages that should not be required to go. And also that you need to set up the agent collaboration. So you cannot put everything into one agent to do. So you have to do the workflows. You have to monitor them. You have to be sure, because the freedom is not is also responsibility. So why to be so careless with AI? So there is, you should control the data leakage, user security, regulatory violations, and you should continue on continuous improvement from that purpose. So it's very critical that some people in there trying to handle all these information in the system and manage them, because or else there will be an operational chaos, data leakages that you cannot manage. But what I also think is good is when you go for the AI trust, if you are saying that I have three, four things I can tell for if trust the AI. First, it's a toddler. Okay. So you teach and learn together. You always learn things from your children. So I have a 14-year-old, so I'm still learning from him. So they have really good ideas, and AI can have very good ideas. For example, when I say that, okay, create this one, it creates, and sometimes creates it more. Okay, it gives more information, which is not required, which is not feel fulfilled in the system. So you teach and learn. So don't use it while writing one sentence of or five sentences of vibe coding and assume that this is the perfect thing. No, always control it and teach it, because it's AI. AI is artificial intelligence learning, the toddler. Do not put them unhinged. So governance is very important. Security, setting up the agents, going in the descriptions and fulfill it correctly. And also, what I like is that I would advise for the people who still do not use or planning to use, go for the read the documentation of Microsoft of responsible AI. In the responsible AI, Microsoft explained what the responsible AI perspective of Microsoft is, and this is a very detailed document that can be discussed for another hour. But yeah, use it. But as I said, as before AIs, when I set up the ERPs, I always say it depends on the users, it depends on the people. Uh, They always told me that will we have these reports in the system, and I always say that you may. Why? If you do not put the correct information, correct data into the system, then there's nothing. If you do not, if finance team do not post the invoices, the accounting team do not post the invoices, finance team cannot do the cash flow, correct? Is there a cash flow in the system? Yes, but the users didn't. So if you do not post invoices in the system, then your manager cannot use Copilot Studio or Cowork or whatever, which technology it is, cannot take the correct data. So we always say that poop in, poop out. So it's more shiny, but it's the same. So I think when you go for the trust, four things: teach and learn together. Do not make it unhinged. Make governance. Read the responsible AI documentation of the Microsoft, and have good and responsible users before responsible AI. So this is what I would tell in the end.
Awesome. So now we come to one of my favorite parts. I have the street quotes. I looked a little bit into to LinkedIn, what people write, and I give you the quote, and you say what do you think about this quote? Okay.
Okay.
ERP systems are becoming decision-making platforms, not just transactional systems.
It's not ERP systems. I think it's the t- agents or co-pilots that use it. So it will not, ERP systems will be still there, will not be deciding, will all have the offerings, I can say. They offer. But the thing is that you decide because you have the not just IQ, we have IQ. It's artificial. It's AI. It's artificial. We have IQ, we are own minds, and plus we have one thing better. We have each, right? For example, looking at to your data, it can say that okay, this customer will not pay you and close all your relationship and sue it. AI can say that. Looking at the data can offer you to do that. Should you do it or not? As a human, looking at the reports, offerings from the AI, AI makes it easier because what we did was that before we look at the reports, there are several reports that we look at it, whatever. Now we have AI, it's making us life easier, but it's us to do the decision making at the end. Okay, so you may say that, okay, I know this customer. Normally he paid, but somehow he's in a problem. I know that the now these are days economy is not good, but he's a trustworthy person. So I will continue working with him. So this is a decision making. Decision making is not to give according to the reports, according to AI, to purchase the um, low cost thing because you know your vendor, you may have been friends with him for years, and you know where he is, and you can think of that he could be better in the future. So you have IQ
Mhm.
plus better EQ. This is what I say. So you have to decide that one.
Awesome. And the next one is Copilot is a new user interface.
Correct. It's a new user interface, not a user. It's designed for you. So you should use it. We It's not about the ERPs, right? What I did was that I planned all my ETL vacation on Copilot WhatsApp chat. You know that there's Copilot WhatsApp chat, there's Copilot chat, of course, as an application, whatever. I say that, okay, plan my day, and somehow if I couldn't make it, if it's 11 o'clock and it's not there, I was not being able to do that. I say that, okay, I'm here, plan it again. So it's a user interface that I use, but I make the decisions. So again, because I plan to have my meal not half an hour, but an hour. So the plan is changed as budgets change, whatever. So it's a user interface. I agree that helps you to do your business.
Okay. In the future, we need more humanity in AI.
No,
Uh,
I don't agree because it's not human. As I said, it doesn't have an AQ and it will never have. It may be a little bit have the humanish effects because it learns and it learns from the web, of course, and we post every hour emotion, of course, into the web. But I think in the end, human is a human and machine is a machine. It's a better machine. Computer is better than the calculator. And even Excel is better in these days and has a copilot itself. But machine is a machine. So I think this interaction is something that we really need. In the end, we are also humans. And even though we are mostly on our computers, we still need to see some friends and be more human. I cannot imagine even the AI systems talk with each other. I don't think that we will have that vibe anything soon. Who knows? Who knows the future? We can predict. We can predict with dynamics as well, but yeah, no,
yeah,
yeah.
also. Okay, then let's the last part. It's the
Yeah.
rapid fire round.
Before that,
Yeah.
then let me give you one more code. You all give me three, I give you one. So this is from Charles Lamana again. And when they first started this co-pilot thing, we said it a co-pilot, whatever naming, whatever. He said, "You drive, AI is the co-pilot." So it's very important when you are using a system. To know that you are on the wheel on the wheel. So it's we are driving. AI is user interface, which is named as Copilot, helping us to make decisions like the reports in the ERP, or even before. If we have paper reports, we were looking at, but we are driving. So don't let a toddler drive your car for you. Okay, so
Yeah, I tried. I think I live in Germany. So also illegal here. uh, but I- but I also see when we see, and I have work for some companies. They make autonomous driving, and
Mhm.
see this says I don't know, then more than 12 years. Next month, absolutely autonomous driving with by my cars. So that's it's yeah. I think that's something people also have think about when they say, "Oh, AI, it's kill my job or something."
Eh, Here, I think if you will come to the autonomous driving, I'm not so sure when I will trust that. Okay. First, I need to read out the responsible AI documentation from Microsoft or that autonomous. It's risky. Maybe it has less risk because humans may make more errors during the driving. I agree. I'm not over very much against it, honestly speaking, but when you are changing the still we have good tools in our cars, like when you try to go left, and if you didn't just open up your signal, it tries to take you to the right. But in this case, if just something urgent happened into my right, what would happen? So it's still not very automated, but it's also, yeah, brings some risks as AI do. So we cannot assume, when you were watching like Back to the Future, normally in exactly when was the time? 1985 or 2025, something like that, right? You know what we were expecting from the future to be? 2005 was, I think, 2005. We were. So you were expecting lots of things, and I was really uh, looking for it. We are not there, but we have achieved a lot in different cases. So all that I can see is that uh, I'm not a fortune teller, so I cannot assume if this will succeed, and it could be like terminate or not. But for now, at least for this year, hopefully. Let's learn, see, and then assume that everything goes right, but
Uh,
hands on the wheel.
okay, then we start a rapid fire round.
No.
So, most underrated business app in Microsoft ecosystem.
Oh my god. Just let me think. In Microsoft, I'm not so sure. I know in Dynamics.
Okay, then in Dynamics.
In Dynamics, I think it's the financial insights. It's very underrated, mostly not being used, which I really like to make a demo for it because it's machine learning. And it, even if I'm not a fortune teller, and even if I cannot foresee the future, it does predictions. So you can do it. But when I look at, if you are asking from the Microsoft way, also I think um Office. Office. Everybody knows Excel. Some people really, really know Excel very, very wonderfully. But I think the Office is very underrated. So I was in EPPC couple of days ago, and I see that what can Copilot can do, I can not even imagine thinking on how to do it. So it creates PowerPoints. It creates you some agreements with the Copilot, looking at the web, whatever, whatever. Again, so I think people know very less than they should know from the Office capabilities. If they know how a beautiful tool it is with the Copilot, uh, they will be out, honestly speaking.
When you talk to a finance company, what process should they automate so directly?
Um, there is a good agent uh, in Dynamics 365 Finance Reconciliation Agent, because the reconciliation is really pain uh, for the accountants. In the end, so I would use the agent of the account reconciliation if I were them. This is not so new. It was, I think, announced last year or the previous. I'm not so sure, but I would use it. But rather than that, not as a finance company, but as not a finance person in a company, but if I was a manager,
Mm.
first thing that I would do is that, of course, this is the cowork is just not yet been released. It's Frontier, but I would ask someone to put Frontier version into my computer as a management, CEO, CFO, whoever. That's the first. The second one is the Copilot Studio with the Dynamics 365 F&O information, and I will look out for my company to where we are, what it offers. Of course, we still need people that have expertise on how to manage the companies to give advices from. But I think Copilot Studio, with the agent of FNO, is giving us a very valuable information as well.
When Microsoft tomorrow should release one thing in Dynamics 365 FO, what is it?
Can I have the question again?
Yeah, when you can say to Microsoft you have to release something in Dynamics Financial tomorrow, what feature or tool should?
I did, and I did not out loud, but they did anyway in a week or two. What would I am not so sure about what would I ask any more than covered right now in from Microsoft. Uh, I don't know, honestly. Oh, maybe what I would ask for them is that we have the um sidecar functionality in FNO. Normally how it worked was that, like a user guide, we were saying that, okay, how can I create a customer, and without looking at the documentation it gives us this information. Then after the MCP server, what they did was that the Copilot sidecar was working also, um, to give us data from directly. For example, we can say that, okay, give me the 5 risky customers from the sidecar, and it does give. But they are now, at September, disabling this functionality. I think maybe fully or maybe partially. I am not read it all the documentation, but this is being disabled. What I would like to tell Microsoft is to have something like that, similar, in Dynamics 365 FNO.
Okay. And during your life, your favorite drink is coffee, tea, or Red Bull?
I'm living in Germany, but I come from Turkey. So, yes, of course,
The
tea.
demons act.
Always tea. I'm a tea. But now I'm drinking a coffee. So, but yeah, I'm mostly a tea person.
When you must describe the future of ERP, what word, one word will it be?
One word.
I give you two. I'm fair.
One word. One word. One word for ERP. Oh my god. It's very hard question. ERP, one word. Prediction, I could say. We are going to prediction. Why I select prediction is that, when the first ERPs came, it's just for reporting purposes. You you fill in the data, and you take the reports, and you use the reports mostly for legal purposes to give to the government, because you don't want to give anything apart from the system, whatever. Then it started to see what you have done. Okay, and this not uh, because what's done is done. It's finished. So you cannot change anything. You just see what has been done and take lessons what you should not do. But it's more about the lessons. Now I think where we are going is that ERP systems, Dynamics 365 FO with this AI, is trying to help us to predict the future, um, for us to not to do errors and take actions before we make it. So this is why I would use prediction in this case.
What's your final advice financial leaders, ERP consultants, and Microsoft professionals that listen today?
What I would advise is to, uh, before you go lives, be sure everything is working and do trainings before you start implementation, in between and before go live. Also, tell users to test everything before it's too late.
Awesome. So yeah, then I will say thank you for this hour of yeah, insights. There was a lot of insights. So I say thank you. This was really great. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much and hope we can see each other later.
Bye bye.
Bye. Have a nice day.